Welcome everyone to Midwest Tree ID. On this channel, it is my mission to help you learn an abundance of trees that grow right here in the Midwest, and some key features on how to identify them. There's just one thing to clarify before we begin. We're not going to be throwing hatred or ridiculing any of the species that we're going to be talking about. But we do, however, want to encourage thoughtful conversation in the comments about personal experiences and things like that. Please try to remember that everything has value and that we are here to enjoy nature and everything it has to offer. So without anything else, let's jump right in. Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining me today. We are in Carl Park in Urbana, Illinois, and we are talking about Catalpa bigninoides. This is the southern Catalpa. We'll talk about the northern Catalpa in a later video, but the southern Catalpas just started blooming in this area just probably this week. And so you can kind of see the nice cluster of large panicled flowers here. They're going to have nice, these are perfect complete flowers. So that means that the flower contains both the male and the female parts. So you're pretty much always going to get seed pods off these catalpas. And they're going to be mostly white with some purple middles. And then you can kind of see the oranges from some of the pollen in there. Now these are really typically pretty big pollinator favorite trees as well, but the basswood trees right next to them are also in bloom. So that's pretty much taking all the bees over there right now. Much like the northern catalpa, the southern catalpa is going to have really large cordate heart-shaped leaves, and they're going to be kind of papery with a little bit of hair, tomentose features on the back of the leaf, which you can't probably really see very well in this camera, but typically rather large, but not going to be quite as large as what you might suspect for a northern catalpa. But the leaf arrangement on the southern catalpa, much like the northern catalpa, is whorled, which means it's got 3 leaves borne at the same point on the stem. And it kind of surrounds the stem, which you'd be able to see if the flower wasn't so prominent right now. But anyway, we'll go ahead and take a look at the bark and then the habit. So the bark on the southern catalpa is going to be a little bit smoother, kind of flaky, not quite as much of the larger fissures that what you might see on the northern catalpas. And they're frequently very similar to the northern catalpa. You can see down here, it does have some hollowing. That's very standard for pretty much all catalpas, but you're going to be seeing lots of light gray and orange streaks in the bark for your southern catalpas. Not quite as prominent on the northerns. So that's going to be pretty consistent on most of our southerns. So the southern catalpa is not going to typically be quite as large as a northern, although this one's not a full-grown mature southern. They are going to be much more rounded rather than kind of that vertical egg shape like what you typically see on a lot of our northerns. So that's going to be one pretty key distinction. The southerns can sometimes look kind of almost having an umbrella effect a little bit, much more wide or broad spreading branches by comparison. And they're much more rounded typically than the northerns. So another one of the key ways about this tree that helps it differ greatly from the northern catalpa is that the pods are going to be substantially shorter, similar in girth, but not nearly as long. Typically only about 1/4 of the size, and there is some variation in the southern catalpa's pods, but the northern catalpa, the pods can get to be about 2 feet long. On the southern catalpas, maybe only about 8 inches long. And the seed's going to be a little bit smaller. And we have a few other catalpas that we're still going to show you later on. But the southern catalpa is primarily native to the southern United States, although it can grow somewhat well up in this area. And there's a few nice southern catalpas, like the one behind me, that are doing quite well here in Champaign. That is not necessarily always going to be the case, but we do have some of these actually growing in the nursery, so maybe we can spread some more out around the area and see how well they do. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the southern catalpa. Thanks for joining me, and we will see you guys next time.